You're welcome to this fourth segment on the presentation. Just before I ended with the third segment of it, I was actually doing an analysis on the way the goal pool or the delegated liquidity pool actually functions. And I did say that it is synonymous to somebody who owns a fish pond. And if the person decides to create shares on the fish pond project, for anybody to become a shareholder, he needs to contribute a certain number of fishes inside this fish pond. Now, when you contribute a certain number of fishes inside the fish pond, you are going to be given a receipt or a ticket. And this ticket that you have is a function of the number of fishes that you contributed inside the fish pond. Meaning that somebody can be issued, let's say 1 ticket, 2 tickets, 3 tickets, 10 tickets, 5 tickets, 20 tickets, 100 tickets. So the number of tickets that you have is a measure of certain quantities of fishes that you've been able to contribute in here. For instance, I might decide to say, if somebody comes in with 2 fishes, then I'm going to give the person 1 ticket. Another person comes in with 5 fishes at once, I'm going to give the person maybe 2 tickets. If you come in with, let's say 10 fishes, I'm going to give you 3 tickets or 4 tickets or 5 tickets. So the number of tickets that you have is also a measure of a certain number of fishes also that you would have as well put inside the delegated liquidity pool. But that might not actually be on a linear scale. It might not really be linear to say, okay, if you bring 2 fishes, I give you 1 ticket. You bring 4 fishes, I give you 2 tickets. You bring 6 fishes, I give you 3 tickets. It might not actually be that linear. So I'm the person who actually decides how it is going to look like. So I might decide to say, if you bring this quantity of fishes, I give you this ticket. You bring another quantity like this, I give you another ticket. You bring another quantity like that, I give you another ticket. But what is important for us to retain here is the fact that you are going to be issued tickets. Each member here means that once you become a shareholder, you're actually a shareholder with either 1 ticket or a certain number of tickets. Now, in the context of this business, what do we actually refer to as the fish pond? The fish pond in this context is referred to as a delegated liquidity pool. That's the name for it. Now, the fishes that are supposed to be put inside this fish pond, what do we call fishes in the context of this business? They are ultima tokens. Means that these people are supposed to send ultima tokens in here. Now, once they send in ultima tokens, they are issued what? Receipts, or they are given tickets. What are we referring to as tickets in the context of this business? We refer to them as gold splits, or we refer to them simply as splits. In the context of the gold pool, we'll call them gold splits. So which means that somebody might own 1 gold split, another person might own just half a split even. Somebody might own just 0.1 split. That's the person's own receipt. That's the value of the person's receipt, which is reflecting the number of or the quantity of ultima tokens or the quantity of fishes that the person has sent into this fish pond, or the number of ultima tokens that the person has sent into this delegated liquidity pool. I hope that is actually understood. So, assuming that somebody owns up to 2 gold splits, in other words, 2 tickets or 2 receipts, that also reflects the quantity of fishes that the person sent into this fish pond. In other words, the quantity of ultima tokens that the person has effectively sent into this delegated liquidity pool. So in essence, the maximum number of tickets that can be issued out on this fish pond project of mine, the maximum number of shares is 1 million. So as people are contributing their fishes in here and I'm issuing out those tickets or those receipts, which we are referring to or which we are calling gold splits. So once the number of gold splits reaches 1 million, that is all. It means that nobody can buy another share again on this my fish pond project. So we now have receipts up to 1 million, and those receipts actually contributed, in filling this particular fish pond with what? With fishes. In other words, contributed in filling this delegated liquidity pool with what? With ultima tokens. So what do I say? Now, in the context of my fish pond project, I will tell all of them, you have all contributed fishes here, and I've also given you tickets. And the number of tickets you have is equally telling of the number of shares that you own on my fish pond project. So I will now tell them that whether in or out of season for fish, I'm going to be giving each one of you a certain quantity of fishes. In other words, the ultimate tokens that have been locked in here. I'm going to be releasing just a certain quantity of ultimate tokens every day out of this pool. But remember, the fishes you have all sent in here will remain inside this pool for at least 50 years. Any quantity of fishes that you send in here, they will stay in here for a minimum of 50 years before they'll be able to come outside of this fish pond. That's the way it has been designed. So all the ultimate tokens that people have contributed in here because they want to become shareholders to be given tickets, which are referred to as gold splits. Those fishes will stay in here, or those ultimate tokens will stay inside this pool for as long as 50 years. Nothing comes out. And I said every day, only 25.92 fishes will be sent out. In other words, only 25.92 ultimate tokens will be sent out of this fish pond. I know you start asking the question, if the fishes have to stay in here for as long as 50 years, or ultimate tokens stay in here for as long as 50 years, how then is it possible for me to be releasing or having, this quantity released if everything has to stay in here for a minimum of 50 years before they start coming out? It's simple. It's because a portion of this fish pond has to be loaded by me. I'm the one who has to load it. In other words, the company has loaded a section of this delegated liquidity pool with a certain quantity of ultimate tokens. But the ultimate tokens that will be contributed by the rest of the community members, once they get in here, they will stay in here for 50 years before they will start being released gradually also on daily basis. So what is being released for now on daily basis is coming out, is coming from the quantity that the company has pre-filled in here. But the ones that community members are filling will be locked in for 50 years. After 50 years, they'll start coming out in a little bit. So for now, I said the quantity that was pre-filled by the company, only 25.92 ultimate tokens will be released in a day. Now, when they are released in a day, where are they released to? In fact, this quantity is released back to these community members in function of the number of shares, or in function of the number of tickets, or number of receipts that each person in here possesses. So they are going to share this quantity, this 25.92, according to the total number of gold splits that these community members have purchased. How does that actually work in essence? I'm going to take you to this simple calculator that will give you enough understanding on how that actually works. So on this calculator, we are going to assume that inside the fish pond, as a matter of fact, in the fish pond, there are a total of, let's say, 10,000 shares. There are 10,000 shares, in other words, 10,000 tickets or receipts that have been given out. Maybe those 10,000 receipts were given out to, let's say, just 3,000 persons. So there are 3,000 persons who have been able to receive a total of 10,000 receipts. Because I said, somebody has the possibility to contribute as many fishes as he or she can. And the person will be given a certain number of receipts. So one person can own several receipts. So if I say there are 10,000 shares, it does not necessarily mean that the 10,000 shares are owned by 10,000 people, because one person can own several shares or several receipts or several tickets. Now, let us assume that there's a total of 10,000 shares. We will put 10,000 shares in here. Maybe the 10,000 shares are in the hands of only 2,000 people, or 1,000 people, or maybe 500 people. What is important to us is not the number of people that are participating, but the number of gold splits, or number of receipts, or number of tickets that the delegated liquidity pool has been able to give up, irrespective of the number of people. So assuming that there are 10,000 splits, gold splits that are being, purchased on the fish pond project. Now, how many fishes are going to be divided? I just showed you that there is a maximum number, which is what? 25.92. So if I put 25.92 fishes that are going to be distributed according to this number of shares, or according to this number of gold pools, or gold splits, sorry. So if we divide 25.92 fishes by 10,000 shares, that means one share is going to attract what quantity of fish out of this total number of 25.92 fishes. In other words, if there are 10,000 gold splits inside the gold pool, and there are 25.92 ultimate tokens to be shared to all of this number of gold splits. So how much Ultima tokens will be given to one of the gold splits in this total of 10,000 splits? So one split out of this 10,000 is going to get what quantity out of these 25.92 Ultima tokens? That simply means do a division of 25.92 by 10,000. If you do that division, then that should give you this 0.002592. That should tell you that if there are up to 10,000 shares that have been purchased and only 25.92 Ultima tokens are divided every day. So it means somebody with one full share cannot even be proud of having one full fish, cannot get one full fish in one day. So the person is going to get just 0.002592. This is the size of the fish that the person is going to get. Now, assuming that the person actually bought just one share, or the person has just one share. So you multiply the person's one share by the quantity of Ultima tokens that corresponds normally to one share. So that means the person still has the same quantity of Ultima tokens. Assuming that this person had already purchased 5 shares, this is the quantity of Ultima tokens that one share is going to attract. And this person has up to 5. Means that as of today, this person is going to get 5 multiplied by the quantity of Ultima tokens per share. So multiply 5 by this, means as of today, this person has earned 0.012960 fish. This is the fraction of the fish that the person has been able to get today by virtue of him owning up to 5 shares. But if he had only one share, then he will get just the exact amount, which is normally allocated for somebody with one share. Now we start asking ourselves the question, since we are dealing with fish, what if all of them are supposed to go to the market with their fishes to sell? Now, this person with one fish or with one share who has received this fraction of a fish, he has to go to the market to sell. And remember, the market does not have fishes on sale. The only fishes that appear in the market on sale are fishes that have been supplied by these community members who have received their fishes out of this daily distribution of this amount. They are the only ones in the market selling. But now in that market, you have other people who are interested in buying fish, who are not even members, who are not shareholders on this fish pond project, but they are interested in fish, which means that there will be a high demand for fish out there. And because of that high demand for fish out there, and here we have only little fractions of fishes coming to the market every day through these shareholders. As a matter of fact, if all the shareholders decide to take all their fishes to the market to sell, it means that the market every day cannot receive beyond 25.92 fishes. Yet the demand for the fish is there constantly in the market because every other person needs fish. Now, if we assume that the price of one fish, one full fish in the market stands at, let's say, $6,000. And you, who owns one share, and you have been able to receive this fraction through this one share, this is your fraction, and one full fish sells at $6,000. So what will be the dollar equivalence of this your small fraction that you have received because you own just one share? So if you multiply this quantity by 6,000, that means you have just made for yourself $15.55200 today because you have done these sales today. This is the number of dollars you have been able to make. Now, assuming that you find yourself within the CEMAC zone, maybe you are in Cameroon, maybe you are in Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, or wherever, where $1 averagely sells at 650. So if you multiply 650 by this 15 point, this quantity of dollars, that means you have made for yourself 10,108 francs CFA. That's the amount of money you have earned from this company today. Remember, this release, these Ultima tokens that you are making, you are going to be receiving them every day for the next 100 years, but you might not be receiving the same quantity. What if by tomorrow, assuming this is what you have made today, what if by tomorrow it shows that maybe other people have joined the business, they have equally purchased their own shares, they have purchased their own gold split in the company, and it shows that the total number of gold split by tomorrow has grown from the present 10,000 that we have today to maybe 20,000, or let's say 15,000. Let's say by tomorrow, the system checks and realize that extra 5,000 splits, gold split, have been purchased. So the total number of splits that we have in the system is now standing at what? 15,000. How many fishes are going to be divided tomorrow still? The same quantity, 25.92. So if you divide 25.92 by the new quantity of gold split or the new quantity of receipts, that means one gold split in this total of 15, gold splits that we have is going to attract what quantity of this 25.92? Just this one, because if we divide 25.92 by this, we have what? 0.001728, which is smaller compared to what the person is receiving today. It means that by tomorrow, if this is what is going to be inside if this is the total number of gold splits that will be purchased, that will be seen inside the system, then this is what this person is going to be making tomorrow, which is going to be lesser than this quantity here. Assuming that this person by tomorrow is still on one split purchase or one gold split purchase, then it means that by tomorrow the person will still be earning this same quantity, which is down from this quantity, which is what the person is making today, is this one. So if by that tomorrow it shows that the price of one ultimate token still stands at the same 6,000, if it remains at 6,000, then multiply 6,000 by this fraction. It means that this person, what the person will be making tomorrow will be what? $10.36, which if you multiply by the average value, it means that by tomorrow, this person will now be making what? Just 6,739. Now, I know the conclusion most of you will be making will be that means the more gold splits purchased in this pool, the lesser will be the amount of money that somebody will be earning every day. Of course, if you do that analysis like that on a linear perspective, that's definitely what it means. But the truth is that it is not absolute. That analysis is not absolute. It is a possibility, but it's not always going to be like that. Why? Because the company has made in such a way that nobody can purchase any gold split in here without using what? Without making use of Ultima tokens. So you can only buy Ultima tokens, make use of the Ultima tokens to purchase these splits. What does that tell you? It means that even new people who are joining the business, who are buying more gold splits here, buying gold splits here is indicative of the fact that more Ultima tokens also were bought from the market and made use of to buy what? To buy the gold splits. So if a huge quantity of gold split was purchased here, that equally means there was a huge demand also on Ultima tokens that were needed to buy also the huge quantity of gold split. What does that tell you? That there was also a huge demand that was placed on those Ultima tokens. And when there's a huge demand placed on it, that means the Ultima tokens rather have the tendency to go up in price, because many people are purchasing the Ultima tokens because they need to do what? To purchase also this huge quantity of gold split. So assuming that the Ultima tokens price rather moves up from 6,000 to, let's say, 8,000, or let's say 10,000, let's even take 10,000. If it moves up to 10,000, that means by tomorrow, when this would have happened in here, when you are normally supposed to receive a smaller quantity of what? Ultima tokens, no doubt about that. You might receive a smaller quantity of Ultima token, but that does not necessarily mean the dollar equivalence of it is also going to be that small. No. So if this quantity is reducing, that means this quantity was rather increasing. And for this quantity to increase, rather means there was a huge demand also that was placed on Ultima token. More Ultima tokens were purchased. And when there's that high demand for Ultima tokens, the price moves upward. So that means by tomorrow, this person with this smaller fraction compared to what he had yesterday, or what he is having today, by tomorrow you'll be receiving something small. And since there was a huge demand placed on the Ultima token that made this one to grow to this level, that means if the price had gone up to 10,000, multiply it by this fraction, that means by tomorrow this person would rather be making what? $17.2 multiplied by this, which means by tomorrow a person will instead be making something more than what he is making today. Yet he will be receiving a smaller quantity of Ultima tokens as opposed to the quantity that he is receiving today. So that's to tell you that you may actually be making a small amount of Ultima tokens, but the value, the worth of it would rather be bigger than the worth of a higher quantity of Ultima tokens that you made previously. So that's actually how it works. So this is to tell you in conclusion that you cannot actually tell somebody conclusively that if you purchase this particular package in this business, this is exactly how much you are going to be making in dollars every day. No, you can't say that. You can't. Why? Because what you make in dollars per day is defined by 3 parameters. The first parameter is what is the total quantity of gold split that have been purchased in the system as of today. That's number 1. Number 2, how many gold splits have you as an individual been able to purchase as of today? How many of them do you own inside the system as of this day? That's number 2. Number 3, what is the price of one Ultima token as of this day, or as of the moment you want to trade your digital assets, which you have earned for that particular day? So these are the 3 parameters that you must associate together that will be able to define the dollar amount that you are going to make on a particular day. So much so that when you multiply by the exchange rate, you now see what that represents in your own local currency. So you can't tell somebody beforehand that if you purchase this package or if you join this business, this is how much you are going to be making every day for joining the business through this particular package that you have purchased. No, you can't say that. You can't. With a farming method, with a case of farming, you had the possibility to say that. Because you needed to purchase a particular farm, you needed to load it at a particular minting speed, then you will know exactly the quantity of coins that will be minted for you on daily basis. Here it is not the same. You can actually purchase a certain package, but you don't know exactly the quantity of ultimate tokens you make on a particular day, because that amount depends on what? Depends on the number of gold splits inside the pool. And you don't know when the quantity of gold splits is going to increase. Because once there's an increase in the quantity of gold splits, the quantity of ultimate tokens you get also reduces. Why is it so? Very simple. The company has made it in such a way that the more people are joining the business, the smaller the quantity of ultimate tokens an individual can get. So much so that the individual doesn't produce a huge quantity of ultimate token and then walk to the market and saturate the market, like it used to happen with the farming season. With the farming method. With the farming method, I knew of people who were producing up to about 500 coins and selling to the market every day. Assuming that we had 100,000 people who were producing at least 500 coins and selling to the market every day. Multiply 500 by 100,000. What does that give you? 500,000. Imagine. So multiply 100,000 by 500. What does that give you? What does that give you? Do the mathematics, you see what that represents for you. That would have been what? The total number, in fact, that used to be the total quantity of community coins that were sent to the market on daily basis. So tell me how the market will not be saturated, having at least a minimum of, let's say, 10 million coins supplied to the market every blessed day by 100,000 people sending in 500 coins that they are producing every blessed day. But with a decentralized, this particular Defi-U system, it is instead the opposite. The more people join, the smaller the quantity of ultimate tokens that one person can get. In other words, the more gold split purchase in here, the smaller the quantity of ultimate token that one person can get. So for somebody to actually get a huge quantity of ultimate token means the person also as an individual needs to invest also very huge amount of money inside the system. How many people can be able to do that? So that is actually the advantage that the DeFi project, which we have right now, actually has over, the farming. So in summary, just to show you a summary of all the, in fact, the explanations I've just made. For you to get started as an individual, you must own shares, with the delegated liquidity pool. So you are here, you need to purchase your own shares in here using what? A certain quantity of ultimate tokens. Once you purchase the shares, this is actually the fish pond itself here, which is referred to as a delegated liquidity pool. So once you have the delegated liquidity pool has received your own quantity of ultimate tokens, it is going to issue you that receipt, which is called a split or a gold split, for instance, if you are inside a gold pool. So it's going to issue you a gold pool. That gold pool receipt simply means that you are going to participate in the daily sharing of the ultimate tokens that the delegated liquidity pool is giving out every blessed day. So that's why you see this arrow showing you here, or showing here that there's a certain quantity of those ultimate tokens that you are going to be receiving also according to the number of receipts that you were able to get from here, which is also indicative of the quantity of ultimate tokens that you were able to contribute in them. Now, like I said, the maximum quantity of fishes, that we can have inside that fish pond will not be more than 100,000. They are going to be a maximum of 100,000 only. In other words, the maximum number of ultimate tokens that can be received by this delegated liquidity pool will not be more than 100,000, like you see here. That's the maximum that we can ever have in existence. But again, you can have more than 100,000 gold splits that are issued out. Remember, some of those gold splits are issued out, or rather the receipts that are issued out could be representing even fractions of a full, of a full fish or a full Ultima token. Because you have the possibility to purchase even 0.1 gold splits, 0.1, 0.25, for instance. So you can have many more gold splits. But those gold splits are actually indicating what? They're actually representing the contribution of a certain quantity of Ultima tokens. And I said we can never have beyond 100,000 Ultima tokens. So like you can see here, these are members of the community. They are actually contributing what? Ultima tokens in here. And each time they do that contribution, they get receipts in return, which are referred to as gold splits. And each time they do that, the delegated liquidity pool or the fish pond in return gives something to them every blessed day for the next 100 years. It distributes fishes to them, a certain number of fishes. In other words, it distributes a certain number of Ultima tokens to them every blessed day for the next 100 years and above. Now, for somebody who has been able to purchase up to, let's say, 5 shares, or the person has up to 5 gold splits, for instance, the company has made in such a way that at some point, somebody can decide to delegate a certain number of gold splits to another person, a family member or whoever, or maybe decide to sell off some of your shares or some of your splits to somebody else. Like you see, this person is now delegating 2 of his 5 gold splits to somebody. It could be a family member, or the person is selling it up to somebody. And whoever is buying them from him, through those gold splits or through those receipts, will also be participating in the daily distribution of the Ultima token that the delegated liquidity pool is giving. And the person will continue to benefit from it also for a lifetime. Now, the company has been able to put in place a certain strategy, because I know before now, some people will be asking, okay, if we have just a maximum of 100,000 fishes that fish pond can hold, or 100,000 Ultima tokens, and yet people are joining the business every blessed day. They keep joining, and the quantity that is being distributed is 25.92. Are we sure that before even the next 10 years, the delegated liquidity pool will not be empty of Ultima tokens, since we have just a small quantity inside, as small as 100,000? Now, let me show you why it will never be empty. It's because of a certain technique that the company has been able to put in place as a strategy to make sure that the price of the Ultima token keeps going up. So the company has implemented something called halving. Bitcoin, for those of you who are conversant with Bitcoin, you know about Bitcoin halving, which takes place after every 4 years. This company also has implemented a halving strategy, which takes place, unfortunately, every year. Now, when I say unfortunately, it depends on who is looking at it, because some people might say they are fortunate, or it's a fortunate situation instead. So every blessed year, there is a halving taking place. When I say halving, it simply means that, let me go back a little bit on the delegated liquidity pool here. Now, what's the quantity shared every day? 25.92. This 25.92 will be shared every day just for 1 year. It will be a daily distribution for just a year. After 1 year, there will be a halving on this one. Halving means a reduction of this one by half, meaning divide this quantity by 2. If you divide it by 2, that should give you around about 12 point something. So after the next few number of months, we are going to register a second halving, because the first one already took place. Actually, we started, the delegated liquidity pool was initially giving 50 point something. Now you are seeing just 25 point something, which means halving has taken place for the first time. So the second halving will be taking place in the next couple of months. When that happens, instead of the liquidity pool giving out just 25.92, it will now be 25.92 divided by 2. That's what they call halving. It means reduction by half. That's what is going to happen in the next couple of months. So in 2023, when we started off, it was 50 Ultima tokens at least that were shared out, or that were given out by the delegated liquidity pool. Now it has dropped down to 25 point something. We are in 2024. By 2025, that's next year, this 25 will be divided by 2. That will give you 12 point something. In 2026, another halving will take place. Division of 12 by 2. That will give 6. 2027, another halving. That will be divided by 2 again, which will give in 3. Then in 2028, it will just be 1, because 3 divided by 2 will give you 1 point something. So in 2028, it will just be 1 point something Ultima tokens that will be shared every day. Then from 2029, it will continuously be 1. So the last halving will be taking place in 2028. So from 2028 upward till the kingdom come, it will just be 1 Ultima token that will be shared or that will be released by that delegated liquidity pool and divided to everybody. What does that tell you? That only a smaller quantity of Ultima tokens will have the possibility to find themselves in the market, which means the market will become undersupplied with the coins. In other words, the supply to the market is reduced against an ever increasing demand, because the demand for the coin will continuously be rising, or for the token, sorry, not the coin. The demand for the token will continuously be rising, yet the supply for it in the market is continuously reducing because of this halving. What does that tell you? That the price definitely has no choice than to keep increasing. Why? Because price is always given by demand divided by the supply. A small supply against an ever increasing demand means the price of the Ultima token has no choice but to move upward. That is what constitutes the strength of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is rising in value because of the halving that is taking place on it, like the one which is taking place in the next couple of weeks. We are in 2024 now. In the next couple of weeks, there is a Bitcoin halving to take place, which means the quantity of Bitcoins that miners are rewarded with on daily basis is going to be reduced by half. That means the supply of new Bitcoins that will be coming into existence will be dropping at least by half, because presently we have up to 900 new BTCs that are entering the market every blessed day. But from the day the halving is going to take place, only that quantity divided by 2 will be coming into the market henceforth. That means the market is under supply. Consequence, continuous price growth. That's the same strategy the company has put here. And the analysis, the calculation that has been done shows that if only one Ultima token will be released every day from 2028, it will take close to the next 227 years for all the coins inside the delegated liquidity pool to be completely removed. And even at that, it will still be impossible. Why? Because the company has made it in such a way that there are certain platforms on which people will be able to do certain transactions. And when they'll be doing transactions on such platforms using Ultima tokens, they too will be paying some transaction fees in terms of Ultima tokens. And those transaction fees that will be paid in terms of Ultima tokens, everything will be gathered and sent back into the delegated liquidity pool. So that tells you that all year round, the delegated liquidity pool will never be empty. So in as much as it keeps existing, there will always be Ultima tokens inside. And you who happens to be an owner of shares on that delegated liquidity pool means you are going to be receiving daily payments from that delegated liquidity pool for a lifetime. It's not just going to be limited to 100 years, but it will be 100 years and above. That is why it is advantageous for somebody to own shares with this particular company, with this particular business. Another person will say, okay, instead of me going to buy shares, I'm receiving these little fractions every day, for instance. Why don't I just go to the market and purchase the Ultima tokens in a good quantity and hold in my wallet as a trader, like people do with other cryptocurrencies? Of course, you are also at liberty to do that. But mind you, the quantity you buy and hold in your wallet, the day you sell everything up, assuming that the price goes up to even $100,000 per coin, the quantity you had already purchased and stored in your wallet, you can go to the market, you sell at that price, you make money, no doubt about it. But don't forget that after you would have been done selling, that will be all. You will no longer be in possession of any of those Ultima tokens again. Everything is gone. You've liquidated your wallet. It's true, you've made profit from it. That will be all. When next you need to have any fraction out of it, you have to go back to the same market and purchase at that same price. But for somebody who is a shareholder, you will continue to receive it every blessed day for a lifetime. That's the advantage. Because you will not have any necessity to go and buy. You will not need to buy. The system is already giving it to you because you're a shareholder. You get it for free every blessed day for a lifetime. That is advantageous. That's why it's advantageous for you to be a shareholder on this system rather than looking for means to buy the Ultima tokens to go to the market again later on and sell as a trader that you are. Now, for you to be able to purchase these gold splits, which I just made mention of, because a gold split actually is made of two things, a license and what they call a contract. So you purchase the license and the contract, but you have to purchase both of them simultaneously. So what currency do you need to make use of to purchase them? You need to make use of the Ultima token. Just the Ultima token alone is the currency you need to purchase your gold split package. Now I'm going to be showing you the various entry-level packages. What are the various entry-level packages that you can purchase? These are them here. I will do analysis on this one. if you are somebody who is serious, who really wants to take advantage of this business, this should be the smallest package that you should purchase. This should be the smallest one. All of these other ones, of course, if you purchase them, it's not like they represent nothing. They represent something, but it's extremely very small for someone who really wants to take advantage of it. If you purchase this one, which is called basic, it's going to cost you 2,200 euros. With 2,200 euros, you purchase this package, and this package will come with one gold split. So you get one full gold split. But if you purchase this one, for instance, which is the smallest package, which costs 220 euros, you get just a small fraction of a full gold split. What's the fraction you get? 0.1. If you purchase this one, you get just 0.25. You purchase this, you get just 0.5. If you purchase this one, you get at least one full share. If you purchase this one for 5,500 euros, you get up to 2.5 shares, and so on and so forth. So it's as simple as that. So, like I said, if you have one share, then you can go back to that calculator I showed you on Excel. You owning one share, look at the total number of shares that have been purchased or gold splits that have been purchased. So if you do the calculation following the explanation I made there, you will see the quantity of ultimate tokens that you can make in function of the number of shares that you have also been able to purchase. So these are the various packages that you can purchase, and you get, you know, a particular quantity of shares. But right now, I have a special promo which is ongoing. Unfortunately, the promo is going to be ending in the next couple of days. With this promo, the company has made in such a way that if you purchase any of the above entry-level packages, to it, the company is going to give you a special gift, which is what they call cashback points. Cashback points represent a certain currency also. It's a currency that you can only make use of within the ecosystem of this company to purchase some products and services, which I'm going to be showing you in a moment. So this is what the promo is all about. Here, if for instance, you decide to purchase this basic package, if you purchase this basic package for 2,200 euros, normally what are you purchasing? You are purchasing one full split. But in addition to that, you get a free gift, cashback points. What quantity of them? 2,200 cashback points. And one cashback point is equivalent to €1, which means in essence, the company has given you back this, you are 2,200 euros, you've gotten it back. They give it back to you in terms of cashback points. What quantity? 2,200 euros. So when you get these 2,200 cashback points, you can go to the company's online shop on the website ultimastore.com. You can purchase several goods from there. For instance, you can purchase debit cards, cryptocurrency debit cards, which I'm going to talk about probably in the next segment. You can purchase also vouchers. Maybe you can purchase a cash redeemable voucher, maybe from Binance, from any exchange that can be paying you back in USDT. So if you spend 2,200 cashback points to purchase a voucher worth 2,200 euros, then the 2,200 euros voucher which you have purchased, if you divide 2,200 euros by 12, that gives you around about 183 euros, 183.3 euros. So every month, 183 euros will be credited to you. A coupon code worth 183 euros will be given to you every month for the next 12